My name is Spencer Cook. I'm the animation supervisor on Men in Black 3.
First question, what do you think 3D adds to the movie experience with Men in Black 3?
Well, we hope that it adds immersion. We want people to enjoy the movie. We want people to feel like they're being transported somewhere else for the duration of the movie. And so we hope that it's more exciting in that way because you get things coming at you. But in a lot of cases, the less action-oriented scenes, we want people to feel the depth of the sequence and feel like there's something behind the screen so that you feel like you're a little bit more part of that experience.
What are your thoughts on 3D Blu-ray and the whole rollout of 3D craze?
Interesting question. I'm not really sure about that because I haven't seen much of the 3D home systems, but I would hope it would be the same kind of experience. Personally, I don't know if I want to sit on my couch at home with 3D glasses on, so I don't know if I'm the right person to answer that.
Not a problem. What is your favorite memory from actually being a part of this Men in Black movie?
You mean of a sequence or just the...
Just this filming experience.
Oh, of the experience, yeah. Well, my favorite memory of this experience would be working with the people on this project. It was a great team of people, not just of the key people in the supervisory roles of Ken Ralston and Jay Red, and working with Rick Baker and Barry Sonnenfeld as the director, and even having some interaction with the actors. That's all fantastic, and that's a memory that I'll cherish. But the great animation team that I had to work with, I was lucky enough to be able to assemble a fantastic team of really talented animators that I worked very closely with for 2 years on this project. And so, it was a really great team of people and a fantastic, cooperative, energetic, and excited group of people to, and we all had fun working on this movie. It was a funny movie, and the results are funny, and it was a fun project to work on as well.
Very good to hear. Where do you actually hope to see Men in Black go from here?
Story-wise? I think they should go into space. All three of these movies have been in New York. They've been, very urban-centric movies. I would love to see the Men in Black universe expand into space because, it's all about the fact that the universe, our entire universe is populated with alien races from all over. And so I think the Men in Black should go to another planet in the next movie. I'd like to see their spaceships. I'd like to see how they get around in the cosmos. I'd like to see what these other planets look like.
I would love to see that as well. As far as what do you think was the biggest challenge in trying to go back in time on the third film?
Well, the environments are always a big challenge with that. Which was less of a concern for me as a character animator, but creating those environments and making it feel like that is actually occurring at that time in 1969. One of the big challenges of that section of the movie was recreating the famous baseball game at Shea Stadium that the Mets won in 1969, and that became a completely digital sequence. That was completely animated. Crowds, completely animated players on the field for those brief moments that you're looking through Griffin's, point of view. But that was a really interesting challenge to figure out how we're going to populate the stands and what are all those people doing, because it was part of my job as the character animation supervisor to create those motions. And so we use motion capture for that because it's all just people doing things that people are really good at, which is cheering and clapping and standing up and sitting down and doing that kind of stuff. So we did a lot of motion capture for that. And it was a very interesting bit of research because I was making a list of actions that people do at games, and the first thing I think of is high-fiving. Everybody's probably high-fiving. But we looked at newsreel footage of that era and realized nobody's high-fiving. They're all cheering. This is the biggest point in the game. The Mets win it all, and nobody's high-fiving. And so I did some research on it and realized that nobody high-fived. High-fiving was invented around 1978. So when we were capturing all this motion, it was just, we could only do like this, and clapping and, looking at each other and hugging and stuff, but no high-fiving. So it was a really interesting time kind of conundrum there.
So I would never have guessed
Yeah,
that at all.
never would have thought of that either, but there you go.
That's awesome. Okay, last question. How have advances in technology over the span of this franchise impact the creative part on how creative you can actually get with this?
I think it gives us more flexibility. We're able to, the good and the bad of it is that we don't need to plan quite as much ahead of time. The good part of that is that we can be more spontaneous. We can come up with ideas and we can more or less create them in a much more efficient and easier way. The bad part of that is that sometimes it can kind of spiral out of control, and that we don't always get the footage that we necessarily need from production when they first shoot the movie, because they know we can create it later. But the spontaneity of it makes things more creative, because we can do much more quicker versions of it, because the computers have gotten faster, and also the artists that are using the computers are now much more adept at doing this kind of work in the digital environment. So we can knock out more versions more quickly, and we can try out different things, and so that kind of spontaneity makes things a little bit more creative, I think.